Hey Hoopers, my name's Zoe. Recently, a few of you asked if I could make a tutorial about one of the moves that you guys saw in one of my videos. So I'm going to do my best to try and explain that to you. Forgive me please, this is the first tutorial I've tried to make. So hopefully it will be helpful to you guys. Let's see. The trick that I think that you guys wanted to learn from me is what I like to call the ISO wheel. I'm sure it has other names, but that's just what I call it because it looks like your hoop is a wheel and you're just kind of turning it. So I'm going to show you different variations of that first, and then I'm going to go back, break it down, and help you to learn it. Okay. So, first off, I like to use a small hoop. I find that using anything over 30 makes this trick difficult just because your arm span won't be able to reach it. So this is a 21 inch, I believe. And so first things first, you're going to start with your hoop, and you're going to put your hands, if they were on a clock, at 3 and 9. And what I like to do with this trick and most isolations is have a nice light grip. I usually use my first 3 fingers, so middle, index, and thumb. And you can have your hoop on either side of you, your left or your right. So I like to go to my right because I'm a right-handed person. And so when you start with the hoop on your right arm is going to be behind the hoop, fully extended, and your left arm is going to be bent like a chicken wing in front of the hoop. And all it is just rotating the hoop and trying to keep it on a nice level plane, because if you start dipping and going up and down, you can do that if you purposely want to go up and down, but if you're just trying to keep it like this and on like a flat surface, like try and visualize it being on there, so you don't want to be moving it all around and so you lose the isolation effect. So then if you're on your left side, your left hand will be extended behind the hoop and your right arm will be in front of the hoop with the chicken wing, and it's the same thing. You just try and keep the hoop level and then just spin it. Alright, so I think that's a pretty simple concept. If you want to get from here to over here without doing what I just did, staying in the ISO wheel, looks like this. And then you can bring it back as well. So first things first, you're going to want to start going to the facing right with your left hand fully extended like we started with. And you're going to want to pull down with your left while keeping your right hand as like an anchor point until you get to the center, and then your anchor point switches to your left hand and you push forward with your right. So now your right arm is fully extended and in front of the hoop, and your left arm is the chicken wing bent behind the hoop. And then to get back to your original position, you pull with your right, keeping your left hand as the anchor point until you get to the middle, and then start pushing again with your left hand, and you're back to exactly where you started. Again, just trying to keep the hoop nice and level so it looks like it's floating, and keeping a nice light grip will really help you with this trick. And then once you feel like you get this down, it's just playing around with it. You can go down and up and over and back. There's a lot of different things that you can do with the ISO wheel, which is why I really enjoy using it in my routines. I think hopefully this is the trick that you wanted to see the most. Everything before it was just kind of like a lead up, and that's going behind the back, and you can do it both ways. So I'll turn around and show you from the back what it looks like. Okay, so here's the breakdown to that. I like to start, well, for right now, let's start in the middle, and you're going to want your left hand to be your anchor point. Let your right hand go down, so you're in like a sideways V with your left hand behind the hoop and your right hand in front of the hoop. And then your left is going to start pulling. Your arm will be bent but behind you, and you start pulling the hoop behind you. And once you get to, you have to put your head underneath your right arm. So your right arm goes over top of your head, and you're going to spin to the right. So that's how you get that barrel roll. And then your left arm is going to pull your hoop down, and you're back to the beginning. So one more time in this direction. You're going to push forward with your right, barrel roll with your head going underneath your right arm, and then you're just pushing the hoop back to where you started from, like you did in one of the previous tricks I explained. If you want to go the opposite way, you're going to need, let's see, one second, there we go. Okay, so you're going to want to have your right arm behind the hoop, left arm in front. And, oh, sorry, okay, so your right arm will be behind the hoop, your left arm will be in front. And your right arm is going to be the one to pull behind you, and now your left arm is going to go over top of your head, and you just spin it, and you're back to where you started. So left arm extends, right arm pulls, and then as it's pulling, you duck under your left arm, do the quick twist, and extend with your right, and then extend with your left. So honestly, what I find helps with doing the barrel roll is just kind of quick, just a quick spin. And to get this effect to look like an isolation again, all you have to do is make sure that the hoop stays level throughout. So sometimes that means I usually have to duck a little bit when I go in this direction. It's not so bad as when I go to the right, but again, it's all about just keeping the hoop on a level plane. And then there's other things that you can do with the barrel roll, like start to spin your hoop in the middle, and then you can continue on with the isolation. So I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry if it wasn't. Happy hooping.